Alright, good evening and welcome everyone. So we're gonna go through the recent article that was just released by New World here. It's about what's coming in season 4, and that's arriving in about a month. On December 12th actually. And then we're gonna watch through the dev update. And that's about 20 minutes long, I believe. So we'll see what they have in store. It will be the final update before next year. Yeah, a new shirt. I found it when I was going out. I was going through my wardrobe. Then I thought, yeah, well, why not? It's a bit autumny, but it's about winter, so yeah. I thought, why not? So let's see. One thing that excites me most with this update is that we are actually getting cross-world expeditions, which is gonna be a godsend, to be fair, because that's gonna be a huge boost for the PvE community. And an improved group finder, okay. Later in the season, alright. Alright. It will go alongside. So wait, this will arrive not on the release of the season. Okay. Okay, well, we'll see what they are saying. So, major updates. The Glacial Tarn Expedition, seasonal narrative, and a new artifacts will all require Rise of Dangerous experience. That's no surprise. Of course, it requires expansion. I'm fine. And you? It's this new season story. I haven't really followed the story of the season. There's a story to it? I just see the season as a battle pass. So I don't know. Let's see what it says. A knight of the round table has unearthed the forbidden knowledge of the ancients, seeking to subjugate humanity with the power of an eternal winter. Rally your team of silver crows. I haven't even looked into silver crows yet. I convinced a surely fire mage named Daishi to help track down and vanquish the knight before he lay waste to Eternum. Eternal Frost introduced a new season journey, new activity card, new challenges, and new rewards, including cosmetics and consumables. Is that the new stuff? That seems like new stuff. I don't recognize any of these. Alright. Well, we'll see. I guess that's a new enemy type. So that's the new expedition. So we are getting that expedition in December. The Glacial Tarn is a new level 65 expedition set in the Great Cleave. Explore a cavernous frozen complex hidden beyond the Empyrean Ford in pursuit of the Varangian Knight Sir Loth. Locate and harness the primordial magic of the Imperial Flame to overcome enemies and obstacles imbued with ice magic, and destroy Sir Loth before his power consumes all Eternum. Okay, fair enough. Well, I haven't even done the Forge. That's something we're gonna do this week, though. Once it rotates, starting tomorrow. So, new artifacts, that's nice. Find and equip 8 new artifacts to redefine your playstyle. That's gonna be 8 artifacts, quite a lot actually. These powerful weapons and armor feature their own quests. Here we know. Stun and shock enemies with a bolt-caster bow. Alright, well, we can check that. Boost your speed. Wait, boost your speed. And reduce cooldown with the winged shoes. Like attack speed? I don't think we have anything that boosts attack speed in the game. That could be actually kind of nice. Freeze and finish your enemies with a frozen gauntlet and more. Okay. Well, we'll see. We still have to get the artifacts are out now. Huge updates. The following feature will release later in the season. Wait, so all of this will release on December 12th. And this will arrive later in the season. Assuming the season is like the last one, what, 60 days or something? Or is it 90 days? No, I don't think so. 60 days, I think it is. I cannot remember. Cross-world expeditions with improved group finder. Let's see what they improved then. Team up with players from any world within a region. Okay. Oh, wait. Within a region? Like world set? I don't even know what world set. Wait, so it's not like all servers? It's only the world set? Well, it's better than nothing, but still. I don't even know. Do we have a world set? I don't even know which servers are in that. The new one-click group finder will automatically assemble a role-balanced cross-world group. No more lobby management required. Is that really the wisest decision? Are they getting rid of lobbies? I mean, they could just leave the lobby and have this as a simple or a quick finder or something like that. I think, did that say? Players eager to explore what's next on the Eternal Isle will have the opportunity to preview the release in our next PTR. Well, we're definitely going to be checking that out then, because that could be a good thing and it could be a very bad thing. Right now the lobby is very simple. You just rely basically on the players. This will rely on the system, which doesn't have the greatest track record. Seasonal events. We will check it out. I didn't really like the new stuff in the Halloween stuff, so we will see. I don't even think I've done the winter festival that much. Mainly because we stopped playing in December. First year it came out. December 5th. And the last year we stopped also before then. Localized VO support update, okay. So they're removing voiceover support for Italian, LA items, Spanish, and Polish. Okay. Well, at least text and subtitle would be fine. Okay. PTR, yeah, we know. There we go. So that one will open on November 9. We could give that a few hours on November 9 and see how it is. I don't know if I will do the dungeon on November 9. Maybe. But I just want to see the new system, see how it works. And that means we can probably also check out the new artifact items on November 9. That is something more interesting. Especially the bow. So let's see what else we have. So that is expedition, season 4 artifacts, narrative reward track. Whoa, what's this? Weapons balance updates. Oh, inventory improvements. Yeah, okay, that's something that is extremely needed right now in the game. Never before have I played an MMO that has such an awful inventory management than this. The gear sets helped, but there is no inventory management. It's non-existent. Yeah, we know about that. And there's nothing special here. Okay. Well, I have it installed already, so. But that would be nice. Then we can check it out later this week. And this doesn't say anything. It's just an event. It's more about what the event gives it. If the event doesn't give anything interesting, you will most likely not do it. Okay. Well, we're gonna check through the dev update. See what they say. I don't even know what if they will be showing. I watched some of these, but I'm not following them that much. Let's see what they are talking about.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Season 4 Dev Update. We're still in Irvine. Got a big group of people with me today. Got Gwen, who you met a couple Dev Updates ago, who's a producer on New World. Dave V, who everyone knows, the Associate Game Director. Got Rosie, the WEX Art Lead, World Art Lead. Chad, who's the AI Lead. Patrick, who leads the Seasons and Progression teams. Vince, who's the UX Lead. And Dan down there, who is the Social and Mounts Lead. Lots of leads here today. So before we get too deep into the Season 4 update, I want to talk a little about the roadmap. So at the beginning of the year, we released a roadmap that talked about everything we were going to do this year, and we've been pretty diligent about it. But in the effort of full transparency, we've ended up moving some things out of Season 4, and I want to talk through those and just own some of the things we missed on and talk about why.
All right.
So the first one is the season trial with mutators. We decided to move this to Season 5 so we could do a little more focus on the expedition coming out this season. So we are still shipping a 10-person mutator, but it's going to be next release, and it probably won't have mutators. We're leaning heavily against that. Another one that's not happening is the seasonal trinket. So with this one, when we, artifacts weren't on the original roadmap and plan, and once we released artifacts, it seemed to fill the void of the trinket. And we thought before we start putting more things in the mix, let's watch what happens with this, get player feedback, and figure out if trinkets is still the right thing to do or we want to go a different direction.
What is trinkets?
This next one is the MSQ update. So we were planning to finish the MSQ this release in December. However, we're not really happy with the way that the MSQ update went in the last release, and we wanted to put a little extra time just to make sure we give you a quality experience. So that's going to move into the next one. We had already talked about really not being into heart runes. I think we did enough of those, and I think that any more would get a little bit convoluted. Next one, we're going to go into this really deep later, but at a top level, cross-world expeditions and arenas is moving. Now, the reason it's moving is we wanted to surprise everyone with an improved group finder. And we did, it's underway, but it's going to take a little longer than we wanted, so it's not going to make Season 4. However, we will deep dive on that in a little bit.
Okay.
And then finally, the seasonal territory control. Again, we talked about doing this, but the influence races have done such a good job of engaging the players. We want to get more feedback, and we'd rather respond to feedback and improve that than try to throw another system into the mix. So there's good reasons for it, and this is just, when you release a roadmap, 12 months out, you don't always know how things are going to evolve over time and what's going to happen in the live environment. So things change, and we just wanted to, be open and honest and get in front of the changes. So with that, I'd like to shift the focus to Season 4 and talk about Eternal Frost, because there's some pretty cool stuff coming this month. And the very first thing is
next month, isn't
it
it?
comes with a new storyline. And someone's going to tell you about that who's sitting behind me.
Yeah, so Season 4 storyline. The Silver Crows are back, so very excited to have Grace O'Malley, Xander, and the crew back to take you on a new adventure. With this storyline, we have an old client, Sky the Spear Daughter. She returns and warns that the Varangians are back up to no good. They never seem to be up to any good, so we're fighting them again. With her coming and bringing that news, you need to seek out new allies. So that brings in Daichi Saito, the new member of the Silver Crows, who you'll have to fight him to gain his respect in order for him to join the Crows. So it's one of several soul trials that come with this season narrative, which is super exciting. We're really expanding our quantity of soul trials we're doing with the season narrative. So, Chad, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you were saying, I think we've got a total of, 4 solo trial boss fights. So we've got the Daichi encounter, another fight with the Ice Dragon, as well as kind of an ultimate Ice Guardian. That one in particular I really like. Has some great mechanics that we haven't really seen yet, interacting with some throwable objects to kind of break this interaction that the boss is doing with some rooms in the environment. I think that one's really fun. And then an ultimate fight with Mordred, which is really cool. He's got some really interesting, not seen before, new abilities.
And I think the quest experience is once again up-leveled. Like, it's just, there's so many fun quests. There's one where you actually play on a chessboard. Like, there's a mission in that. Like, we've just found new interactions in the quest that keeps it sort of interesting and really keeps the narrative alive.
Yeah, personally, I like that, we've done a lot for the group, the PvE group players. We've done a lot for the PvP players recently. And now we're doing more for the solo players. And I want to make sure the message is where we care about all of the groups of players. And I think at a high level, I love the solo trials. They're pretty cool. We also have a new expedition coming out, the Glacial Tarn for level 65 players. What makes that cool?
Well, the Glacial Tarn, in contrast to the Empyrean Forge, is going to be all icy and cold. So we have some real extremes in temperature. And it's really interesting second half to the Empyrean Forge. So we see those two, sort of the two sides of the hot and the cold.
Yeah, and just to talk a little bit about what players are going to be encountering in there, we've got some really neat environmental interactions. There's icy stalactites or icicles dropping from the ceiling on the player. Some really interesting kind of empowering mechanics where players have to defeat it, gathering flame. Some new enemies with icy ancient guardians, ice Varangians, and some new bosses. Gwen, you want to tell us about those?
Yeah, the new Ice Torso boss, does he have a player-facing name?
Sir Loth.
Sir Loth, that's right. Yeah, so we've got the Ice Commander, Sir Loth, in Glacial Tarn, and I think the most exciting thing about that fight is just how much there is going on, and there's going to be a few different ways that you can play it. There's other AI that are going to be buffing the boss in the center. There are weak points that you can target if we're focused on ranged play. And there's also a lot of movement around the arena. So harkening back to Empyrean Forge, you have to really pay attention to what's around you and make sure you're not getting caught in the floor turning into lava. And this time you actually have a lot more control over the arena itself because the boss can break the bridges, but you can also build them back up. So making sure you're not caught on a platform where you need to be. I still haven't beat it in playtest yet, so I'm gonna need to work on it a little bit harder.
Maybe you should stop playing with Dave V and get other people to...
Yeah, maybe more with Pride and Darren. They were a little bit better. But then I play healer, so maybe I should be keeping Dave alive better.
I like that.
I think the best healer in the world couldn't do that. Sorry. We got a couple new artifacts. You want to talk about those?
All right.
Yeah, so new artifacts. So for those of you who are done with your chase from the expansion artifacts, we're introducing 8 new ones. Pretty diverse cast of weapons and armor. So those weapons that did not get artifacts with the expansion, the life staff, the bow, things like that, they're finally going to get their time in the sun, and they should be pretty fun for players to chase.
They're not going to show us.
2 of my favorites, Vengeance, the life staff.
Whoa. There we go. When you successfully heal, gain 1 damage for 10 seconds. On life staff? When you successfully heal, gain 1% damage for 10 seconds. So it can stack up to 20, so 20% damage? I don't know. It doesn't sound like something that I would be, if I were a healer, I would be like, yes, definitely. If this was 1% outgoing healing, that would be insanely overpowered, probably. But that is a flat out, basically, well, not a flat out 20%, but every time you successfully heal. That's just by auto attacking, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know about that. But I think this is more what you want to focus on, though. If it doesn't have the right perks, then I don't think many healers will be using it. You're going to need to be a bit more hybrid, I think, if you want to use that.
Pretty unique weapon here. It takes more of an offensive approach for the life staff and increases the damage you deal based on how many times you're healing people. So I'm sure there's some pretty fun interactions there for players to find. There's also Gladiator, the round shield. What this does is it acts as a sort of...
Okay, well, why does this have perks and the other one didn't? That's a bit weird. Okay, when you're hit in melee, inflict bleed on your attacker, dealing 10% weapon damage for 10 seconds. No, we don't have that there. That could be keen or vicious down there. But we don't have... I'm not sure how keenly jagged is. Is that also 10? Isn't that like 7? And I can't remember how much weapon damage that is. But maybe they can stack. If that stacks, then maybe. I wouldn't be using it in PV in PV though. Maybe PvP though.
Thorns, where when you take melee damage, you then inflict a bleed on the player. So some interesting interactions there. Dave, any other favorites from you?
Yeah, I got 2 favorites also. One, I know all the bow players felt left out. Your bow is coming,
yeah.
Boltcaster. It's really cool.
There it is. Oh no. Is that... But the problem with this is, don't we have a hammer that is electrified? 99% damage converted to lightning. And lightning damage is increased by 20% for both weapons. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I was hoping for something a little bit more unique, but it feels like we already have electrified on the Spark of Mjolnir. I think it is even called electrified. That doesn't really make it unique, in my opinion. Well, lightning damage is increased by 20%, but I guess we will have to try it out. Do they stack? What if the hammer and the bow stack? Then maybe. That's an additional 20% on top of that. But then you have to get rid of the Void Gauntlet. Oh wait, no shit, you cannot even use the Void Gauntlet with this. You cannot use the Artifact Void Gauntlet with it. So you're gonna lose out on Disintegrate. And And that's true as well for the hammer. You cannot use the hammer as well. Yeah, then I don't know. Suddenly it didn't become that exciting anymore. As soon as the patch hits on November 9, we can just check the database and we can probably see the full perk list. But still, I'm not a huge fan of having electrified on it. Surely there must have been a better perk for it.
It does, as you can guess, lightning damage. But the other nice thing is if you hit someone with full health, you get a stun. So that's going to be very interesting to see the power of bows plus a stun.
But it doesn't say.
Another one I love is quick draw gloves. What I like about this is it really changes the gameplay, right? It's not just numbers. Every time you swap weapons with these gloves on, you get a little bit of immunity. So it's neat to sort of like plan out your weapon swaps and sort of have a different vector on gameplay. So some pretty interesting ones.
I'm really excited about the DPS life staff. I haven't even come close to finishing my artifacts so far, so those are just going to go on hold for a little bit so I can do my life staff.
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned this in the earlier part, but I think artifacts just changes the game, and it gives they're so fun as chase items at the end, like really awesome.
They mentioned about the bow that you stun. If that stacks with what is it, the amulet that increases the stun, is it by 100% or something? It's kind of big. Then that could be kind of annoying. It's gonna be pretty funny PvP, I guess. But it said it was only with full health. So if you would do like what? Rain of Arrows or whatever it's called, that would probably stun an entire group.
We're also bringing back some of our favorite seasonal events. We have the Winter Convergence Festival and the Legacy of Crassus. And I don't know about you, Patrick, but I am looking forward to seeing those Gleamites come sailing in.
I'm excited too, and that's a great segue because one of the bigger changes with the convergence this year is we're really increasing the frequency of those Gleamite meteors. They're such a cool thing in Turnham, and you only get to see it for a month out of the year. So we really wanted to make sure that players are seeing a lot of those at night, and it's really lighting up the sky. Outside of that, you know, the standard rewards suite, so new armors to chase, new emotes. And one of the, I think, coolest things about the convergence this year is we're changing the way crafting works with these holiday events. So what we're doing is introducing a new resource, the pristine Gleamite chunk from the shop.
Whoa, easy now. You can actually get chromatic seal from this. So the chromatic seal right now is a huge gold thing. It's 5,000 gold, and it's a 24-hour cooldown on it. Now that is gonna be something worth chasing. Let's assume it's 24 hours cooldown on that too. You can save up a lot of money taking that. And you need at least 1 up to 3 for every item to upgrade. The armor looks to be the same armor. Actually, no, I don't think I have that armor. That one I do think I have. Okay, but that's good. Then we can actually barter for endgame materials. Right now with the Halloween update, it doesn't feel like there is anything. It's just fluff. Some cosmetics and decoration and emotes. I think that's good. That actually makes it worth doing, because right now the Halloween update, the Halloween events are kind of dead. Sort of, it's not as rushy as it was the first days. This will keep it alive.
A new resource, the pristine Gleamite chunk from the shop. You can buy this, and that'll let you craft a guaranteed 700 item with some fixed perks, and should be a really awesome way for players to hop into events like Winter Convergence and get some great gear out of it. Outside of that, Legacy of Crassus you touched on. So there's going to be a new pickaxe. Might be best in slot, might not.
Oh.
But what it does have is a unique skin, so players can go chase that. There's also 2 new statues that come from the event from each of the corrupted Cyclopses. Those will be fun to decorate your house with.
Okay. Next, Vince, you want to tell us about some of the inventory changes, quality of life improvements?
All right.
Sure. Yeah, we've been gathering feedback for a while now on inventory and some changes. And I'm glad to announce that really big changes are coming in. So one of them is that basically right now the view of your inventory items is all 2 columns. So you have like 2 columns of and it gets really long if you have a lot of rewards or a lot of things in a specific category.
And it's a
You
mess.
can now change that to one column, so it can go wider. You can also reorganize and
Yes.
either change the order of all of your categories, as well as turn on or turn off some categories too. So if you really don't like gems, you can hide them all, and then you can change all of this sort of at will. If you like the 2-column layout, you can also move things from one column to the other. If you like all the crafting stuff on the right and all your gear on the left, or the other way, you can make all those changes as well. And another cool feature that people have been asking about that we're really excited too is within each category you can do batch crafting based on rarity. So you just check the box of the rarity of stuff you want to, or salvage, you want to salvage, and then you basically just salvage all. So if you want, if you're like Scott Lane, you want to salvage all your commons and legendaries, you can go do that. If you're like Dave V and you're anti-blue and you just want to nuke all of that rarity, you can go for it.
Gone.
So we think we're really excited about this one, and we think we've addressed a lot of the feedback. But please keep it coming, and we'll continue to keep making improvements to inventory.
That's going to be something very exciting to check out on the PTR. Because as I said, it is a huge mess right now. It's absolutely awful to organize it, especially when you've been farming like me for like weeks and haven't salvaged anything. You have your legendaries and everything. And then you have everything, you cannot sort it out or stuff like that. It's going to give us a little bit more freedom and to salvage everything. That's going to be very nice. Because then you could potentially just filter out, I want to keep these, put them in a bank, and then you salvage everything. And so salvage everything one by one, and then you have this stupid pop-up on the screen, which is going to block you from salvaging. And then you're going to not be able to salvage because it's going, you have to like press each individual item because they're legendary. So I think that's really nice.
It's good timing. Weren't you just talking about salvaging legendaries and how the UI creates a little bit of excess clicking?
Yeah, that Control-C gets a little frustrating. So I'm very, very happy for this change, and thank you, Vince. I think it's a huge quality of life improvement, and it's something that we're going to continue to pay attention to, not just inventory, but quality of life. So earlier on, I mentioned that we were moving cross-world expeditions and arenas out because we wanted to focus on improved group finder. Dan, why don't you tell us exactly what that's going to encompass?
Yeah, the wait, it's almost over. We've almost got it. We are going to do cross-world expeditions with a one-click group finder. So you can go as a solo, you can click the button. As a pre-made group, you can click the button. You will find a group to play expeditions with cross-world. We're doing, we're supporting all the vanilla expeditions. We're also going to support mutated expeditions as well.
Nice. And this has role queue, Dan, so you can be assured you always have a tank and healer in your groups?
You go into the system, you pick a role. It's going to balance things out. You're going to have a bonus for those in-demand roles. And
nice.
Yeah.
Any other bonuses, like just to give you incentives to do it every day or something like that?
Funny you should ask. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There is a 3x daily bonus for clicking the big random button that will send you to, wherever you're needed the most for it to fill.
I like that. So it basically works like a quick play in some other games. You usually get a bonus for just jumping in there. Although they haven't said what you get. Maybe it's rubbish. Maybe you get like something really stupid. Then yeah, that would be kind of sad.
Group right now.
And isn't there even more, Dan? What if
sure
I think
there's no ends to this stuff, Dave.
With pugs versus pre-made groups, sometimes you don't have that coordination, so it's a little more difficult with pickup groups. Are there any sort of compensation or incentives to help that group along?
Yes, absolutely. This is not an original thing by any means, but we're adding a 15% buff when you end up in a random group to damage and healing.
It's going to be big. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I think, one of the controversial topics was like, should we do these one-click group finders for mutations? Because mutations are a little bit more, it makes sense obviously for story mode and the easier, but like for M3s, we're going to try doing it. I think it's the right way to do it. But I think we talked about not having them impact the leaderboard,
yeah,
right? Like
no leaderboard placement for.
So that can stay pristine. Yeah, I think it's going to be super fun. Like just the ability to press one button. Never have to link gear again, never have to beg for groups or anything, and you'll just be in a group instantly. It's just
for me, it's as much about the weight. not having to try to wait for a group to form. Like when you're combining that with cross-world, it's gonna feel much more on demand, and that's exciting. And healers, you're gonna get paid extra.
I appreciate that buff too, because as a healer, having like good group synergy with the people that I always play with is really beneficial, but now I don't have to worry.
So thanks again, everybody. And just as a recap today, we talked about some roadmap changes. We went into deep dive on all of the Season 4 features, including a new storyline, the new expedition, artifacts, our upcoming seasonal events, the awesome quality of life updates we've done, as well as giving you a little insight into where we're going with the improved group finder. So thank you again, everybody, for doing that. We'd also like to elicit questions for the Q&A. And we've seen the feedback that people feel like we're not answering all of their awesome questions or giving enough detail. So one thing we're going to do is be a little more prescriptive on the kind of questions we are comfortable answering. And hopefully this will feel more respectful of your time, because we really do appreciate you asking the questions. It's awesome. With that said, if you like what you saw, please like us, subscribe, all of those cool things. And otherwise, we will see you in Eternum in Season 4.
Fair enough.
Everyone wave now.
So what the hell is coming with Season 4? That will not be launched at the beginning of Season 4, but it did say it's coming Season 4. They didn't say Season 5. So I hope that will arrive, well, sometimes during that season at least. Sure, if they push it to Season 5, fair enough, not much we can do about it. I'd rather have a functioning good system than a broken system that will be just frustrating, and then it will delete our character and everything and stuff like that, and put us on the French server or something. But okay. I'm not sure what I liked about that buff they gave. They didn't say what kind of daily stuff you got. Only 3 times you get it. Is it like rewards? Is it luck? Or something like that. Then they mentioned that you do get a 15% buff to healing and damage. And I'm not sure. That could be something that people will probably try to exploit in some way. So I don't know. But oh well. We will check that out when it arrives later this week. And then we can check out the artifact weapons too. But it feels like the bow is going to be more a PvP weapon, but I don't even know if it's going to be that. It all depends on what kind of perks it has. If it doesn't have the right perks, then yeah. Maybe arena, but I don't know. I cannot see it being used in PvE. Or maybe. No, you cannot use it like that. You cannot break enemies fast. It's only the first arrow that will take effect. And if then after that it's just gonna be our ordinary bow. With lightning damage. Oh well, we're gonna dive into that on Thursday. And then we can take a look at that. But the inventory improvements are probably the best thing so far. Let's hope that will be as nice as I hope it will be.